Hello everyone, Ed March from C90 Adventures here, and I'm out on a little walk. Honestly, every video at least one person asks me if I am or if I'm related to Ed March or not, even after I put that photo up. Well, I'm out on a walk because I want to put some miles in for this charity hike that I've got going on in November. 200 miler, so I've just got a bit of weight in my bag. I've just finished work, got home, got my boots on. I'm trialling some new boots as well. I could either be going to Sight or they might look like Timberlands. Anyway, they're not. I'm trying to bed these boots in because they feel like wearing clouds. They're so comfortable, and if I can get some miles under my belt with them and they're still comfortable and I don't have blisters, then I'll probably wear these for my walk. So that's one of the reasons I'm out. And also I wanted to tell you why this isn't really a full length camping video, so apologies for that start off, but I am going to give you some highlights of the camp that I was on a few nights ago. A really good mate called Lee from down south in North Devon came up to camp, and I first met Lee at the first community camp and we've just become quite good friends. So he came up for a 2-night camp. We went to a lovely beech wood and we were joined by Bellows Ben for one night, and it was an awesome camp, really good camp. We had loads of good food, cooked up in the Dutchie, a few meals. The conversation was flowing so much and I was having such a nice time. I kind of wanted to be a bit more present for Lee and Ben on that camp. I don't know, I just really didn't feel like picking up the camera all too much, especially not to do a full length video. And I've got to say as well, a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. They sent me another box out, which I'm really stoked with. I really love their products. I've been using them for 3 years on and off. I got a stack of meal cards in the house. They basically send you a cardboard box to your door full of insulation and ice packs and all the fresh ingredients you need for 3 meals. You can get a breakfast in there as well, and you can select how many people in the household are going to eat, so they can put more or less ingredients in. It's just a really easy way of getting good quality meals without even having to go shopping. I love it. I can just get home from work, there's a box on the doorstep and all the food's there good to go for the next 3 nights. I took one of the meals to the woods with me as well and cooked up a cheesy chicken and serrano ham, which was lovely. I really like that it gets you using new ingredients that you might not always use. It's opened my eyes to way more recipes than I already knew before. And you might try things that you never tried, and that's what I've been doing, and I really like them. It's a step-by-step method sheet, and they've been kind enough to give me a discount code for you guys to use. If you want 60% off your first box and then 25% off for the next 2 months, just use my code in the description. Spider-Man. So I'm going to roll some highlights now. Don't go anywhere though, because I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A after that. So yeah, apologies, but please bear with it, and I'll catch you back here in a few minutes. Cheers.
So
Just for the record, if this field hadn't just been harvested, I wouldn't be walking along it. I do have respect for the farmers. I wouldn't just wade through a load of growing crops, you know. Oi, oi, what are you little beauties saying, eh? This is a pretty cool little nook. I could definitely bivvy bag camp here. Get a great sunset and I get a great sunrise. One day, add it to the list. Whew, feels good just to be out, even just for a couple of hours after work. I get quite a few messages from people saying that they'd really like to try wild camping, but their head's just not in the right place for it and they find it hard enough even just to leave the house. So I mean, just tonight after work, just a couple of hours after work, get some air into your lungs, lose some calories while you're doing it, see nice sunsets, see what's about, get exploring. It's a good place to start. If you're not quite up to a full night on your own or whatever, just come out for a hike. It's a good starting point. Black clouds are rolling in now. I think we might end up getting rained on. What's people's thoughts on wearing boots, even when you're just going camping? Because I've always worn boots from a previous job, the job I do now, I'm always wearing boots. And just to me, they just feel natural to have on. Like, I can't go camping in trainers or go hiking in trainers or anything like that. It's just unnatural to me. And to be fair, the amount of times I've gone over on my ankle in the woods and been saved by my boots. So what's your preference, boots or trainers? Well, I just stopped and had a really nice chat with a dog walker. We spoke about the wildlife and nature for about 10 minutes. He's telling me about all the animals he's seen around here, all the roe deer, the barn owls, pheasants, and all the places he sees them. And he said he walks this path every day with 3 beautiful spaniels. So if you're watching, mate, how do? Nice chatting with you. And as we predicted, it's just started to rain as well. Right then, quick bit of Q&A before I turn around. I'm just going to read them from my phone. And bearing in mind these were asked like 4 months ago or something like that. What's the weirdest experience I've ever had in the woods? I mean, I got back to my car once and there was handprints all over my bonnet with some used Johnnies down the side of the car. I guess that's pretty weird. Oh. Right, well I'm back home. I lost the light there and it started raining quite heavy, so I just put my head down and knuckled on. So I'm going to answer a few of these questions from the settee, I hope you don't mind. What is your daily job and do you enjoy it? So I work in maintenance. I'm an electrical engineer. When I left the military in 2015, I did a 3.5-year apprenticeship in electrical engineering and electronics. And I work in a food factory, 4 days on, 4 days off, which is why I get to go camping so much. And I work 12-hour days, no night shifts or anything like that, unless I want to do it as overtime. Do I enjoy it? Yeah, I really enjoy it. They always say it's more the company that you keep. Work is work at the end of the day, but yeah, I do really enjoy being an engineer. Constantly using your head, constantly problem solving. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Where's the best place you've been camping? Probably somewhere in Wales, I'd say, just because the scenery is like on another level. But I guess as far as like the videos go, my favourite place to camp was probably on that ship, the shipwreck. And I knew of that area. It's quite popular with photographers and stuff because there's so many different boats to take photos of and you can get some really cool angles. And when I saw the inside of it, I was like, I could sling a hammock up in here. No, I bet no one's ever done that before. I checked, no one had done it. So that was probably one of my favourite places to camp, for sure. Do I have a plan if there was a zombie apocalypse? No, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan at all, actually. I've never even thought about that. I guess if the shelter was still there, I'd try and get everything I need and take it up there. But as far as a solid plan goes, probably not. What's your biggest achievement and who's my most influential role model? Right, well, even still to this day, I'd probably say getting my sniper badge is my proudest moment, just because it's such a hard course to pass. I think it's got a pass rate of like 11%. And there's some transferable skills from that, like navigation. I'm still really good with a map and compass. I can navigate pretty much anywhere with a map. You do all your navigating at night on your own, and you're not allowed to use any roads or tracks or anything like that. It's all Bondu bashing. And you end up pacing around a lot trying to find a tiny little board to sign your name on. in pitch black. And my role model, maybe this is a bit cheesy or not, I'm not sure, but it's probably my dad. Because he was a sniper, he taught snipers, he's the one that made me want to go and join up and do that role. Him and my mum raised me right, they taught me right from wrong, and he's just an inspiring bloke. He listens to good music, he come on the first day for the charity hike with me, he's always got my back. So yeah, big up my dad. Do I prefer hammock camping or sleeping on the ground, and which do I get the best sleep? That's a toughie, because I sleep really well in the hammock, but I sleep really well on the floor as well. Honestly, I'm one of these people that can just put my head down anywhere and I'll always get a pretty good night's sleep. Comfort, probably the hammock. I'm really comfortable in a hammock, even in the winter. I just put a foam mat under me and I'm good to go. I've never used an under blanket or anything like that. But I prefer ground sleeping. I just like to be able to get to all my kit, get to everything nice and easy. Sometimes I sling my hammock quite low so I can get into my bag from the hammock. But yeah, I think I prefer camping on the ground. How do you keep your hair looking so good in the woods? I remember this one. I've already answered this to that person, but for the sake of everyone else, wash twice, condition once, but only condition the ends. This is a good one. How do you find and choose woodlands to camp at, and is overnight parking ever an issue? So I'll just quickly run through how I actually find my wild camping spots. I start off with like a rough area in mind. I use my laptop and my phone. I just go on Google Maps and put it on satellite, and then I do a quick airfoot recce from that, and then I'll leave all my kit at home and jump in the car. I'll drive down and suss out the spot, see if it's got any private woodland signs, see if it's blatantly someone's land that you wouldn't want to camp on, and if it's a green light, then I write it down in my notes and then I just save it for whenever I want to go camp there. Obviously you're trying to avoid the main dog walking tracks, places that look well walked, so you can kind of tell in the woods if people go there regularly or not. What's up, Tom? Sorry, that's the cat, he's meowing, he must be hungry. So as a little spot picking tip, if I'm camping in a new area, I like to set my tarp up with the closest track or road behind me, because then the tarp can act as like another layer of protection to stop people seeing your campfire. Pretty simple one, but yeah, that's just something I always like to do. But for like the stealthy, exciting camps that I like to do as well, I just throw myself in the deep end and just try and wing it, to be honest with you. I am quite lucky in the areas that I've got around me. We don't have a lot of hills around here. We are in the flattest place of the UK in East Anglia. But it's made up for the amount of forest we have. We've got so many pockets of woodland, a giant forest. I'm really quite lucky to have everything so close to me. So finding a spot for me is pretty easy. There's endless amount of spots around me. Do I ever get scared when I'm out on a solo camp in the dark? I mean, given what I used to do for work, I don't get scared at all when I'm camping. However, my ears do still perk up when I hear branches on the ground snap from deer or other animals that might be about. My ears do perk up and I get all meerkatish, but I think that's natural for everyone, you know, it's a natural instinct, isn't it? I am always checking my arcs as well, naturally, like, even when I'm out with my missus and we're walking along, I'm always turning around behind me just to check. It's just so ingrained into me, so I've always got this natural level of alertness, but I never get scared. And leaving your car anywhere in the forest is always a risk. We don't really get much trouble around the forest here, but it's full of doggers. It's either going to get stolen or it's not. Have you thought about camping in the Lake District? I have camped in the Lake District before, I haven't filmed it or anything, but yeah, definitely want to get back up to the Lake District. I reckon in the springtime I'm going to get up the hills, up in the Lake District, yeah. Hold me to that, Lake District in the spring. Do you think respecting nature is something that should be covered more in schools? Yeah, 100%. I mean, I just remember in primary school going out and like drawing around leaves and putting squares down and counting the insects and stuff. If there's any teachers watching this video, I'd love it if you left a comment with the sort of things that you've taught in school. That'd be quite cool to read. What are the positive impacts of mental health from spending time in nature? Well, for me, I can only speak personally, but for me, I get that full-on exhale moment where I leave anything on my mind or problems that I'm going through at the car. A day and night in the woods tends to give me a clearer head to be better when I get home, to be better at work, and I do this every week because it keeps me happy, it keeps me motivated. So for me personally, it has massive benefits to my mental health, like massive. I preach about it all the time in my videos. I'm always trying to encourage people to get out there because for me, I just feel so much better when I've been out. My go-to essentials for camping, I mean for me personally, it'd be my knife, my hatchet or my axe, my saw, my tarp, sleeping bag, my skillet, titanium mug and some cordage. But really, like, kit is a personal preference. People love to talk about kit all the time. I'm not like a kit geek, but I like what I like, if you know what I mean. There's kit that I still use that I've been using for years, and there's kit that I like to upgrade as I go along. But really, it's a personal thing to you, I think. You don't need all the expensive gear. I like to just upgrade as I go along. But there's a lot of items you don't need. The main thing is just getting out there and doing it. You know, I started out with pretty naff kit, if I'm honest with you, but it's not the kit why I go out camping, it's the nature. So really, as long as you're warm, you're fed, you're watered and you're sheltered, you're pretty good to go. Right, we'll go for one more question then. One more question. Lots of people want to know about the military stuff. It's not something I really talk about on the channel. One, because I know there's other vets watching, and I know there's people that are still serving watching, and it's just not really the done thing, is it? Like, if you've been out there and done stuff, like, it's not something you tell people that aren't close to you, if you get what I'm saying. I don't really feel that comfortable talking about stuff to so many of you guys. Like, I don't mind talking about the mental health bits and stuff, but the military career thing, like, a bit cringe for me. But I was in for 7 years, I was based in Suffolk, I was a sniper for 4 years. I did 2 tours of Afghanistan, both 7 months each time. One in the winter, one in the summer. There was good times, bad times, and everything in between. But yeah, I'm really sorry this video's turned out how it's turned out. I still wanted to put something out there, and I know it's something a little different. Next video I'm going to be back out in the woods. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon. Peace and love to you all. I hope the rest of your week goes as smoothly as possible. Have a good one. See you soon.